If I had to choose one question that's changed my life more than any other, I think I know what it would be. It wouldn't be, what should I do? And it wouldn't be, who's right? It wouldn't even been, what's true? I think it's a much simpler question. I think the question would be, what am I missing? That question has saved me from making some really bad decisions. It's kept me from jumping to conclusions and embarrassing myself more times than I can count. Because here's what I've learned: reality is almost always bigger than my first impression. I've noticed something about myself. Maybe you'll recognize it too. When something happens, my brain wants an explanation immediately. Say, for instance, somebody says something offensive. Headline pops up. Something happens at work. A friend doesn't return my phone call. Almost instantly, my mind starts creating a story. They must be upset. They probably meant ... I know exactly what happened. The problem, half the time, I'm completely wrong. Not because I'm not intelligent. It's because my brain hates unanswered questions. I'd rather have a quick explanation than wait for the correct one. I've had situations where, say, somebody didn't respond to a message. Hours went by, then a day, then another. You know what my brain started doing? Started creating stories. Maybe they're upset with me. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe they're ignoring me. Then eventually, I'd hear from them. Their phone died. They were traveling. There was a family emergency. They'd simply been busy. Everything I'd imagined never happened. And that taught me something. A lack of information doesn't stop the mind from creating explanations. I think that's worth saying again. A lack of information doesn't stop the mind from creating explanation. It just creates fictional ones. It makes something up. Now, whenever I catch myself creating a story, I stop and I ask, what am I missing? Maybe there's information that I don't have. Maybe there's a context that I haven't considered. Maybe I've misunderstood the whole situation completely. And that pause has been incredibly valuable. Not because it gives me all the answers, but because it reminds me I probably don't have all the information yet. I found that this question works almost everywhere. It works when we look at history. It works when we look at politics, even relationships, business, parenting, even faith, even understanding myself. Whenever I become absolutely convinced that I've got everything figured out, I'll deliberately ask, what am I missing? Sometimes the answer is nothing. My conclusion survives. Other times, I realize that I have overlooked something obvious. Both outcomes are valuable. One unexpected benefit of asking better questions is that it's made me calmer. I don't feel pressured to have instant answers anymore or instant opinions anymore. I don't feel like I have to react to every headline or every controversy or every debate. Sometimes the most honest answer is, I need to learn more. Years ago, I would have seen that as a weakness. Today, I think it's wisdom. Building Black Logic Media has forced me to live by this question because every documentary starts the same way. I think I know something, then I begin researching. I go through primary sources, historical documents, different authors, different perspectives, and almost every single time I discover something I hadn't considered. That's become one of my favorite parts of the process. Not proving myself right, but discovering where I was incomplete. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you find yourself absolutely convinced about anything, just take a pause. Then quietly ask yourself, what am I missing? Don't ask it sarcastically. Ask it honestly. You may not change your conclusion, but I can almost guarantee that you'll improve it. If there's one habit I hope never disappears from my life, it's curiosity. Not curiosity for entertainment, curiosity in pursuit of truth. Because every time I ask, what am I missing? I'm reminding myself of something important. Reality doesn't owe me agreement. It only offers me another opportunity to understand it a little more clearly. And I think that's a journey worth taking. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I'll see you in the next conversation.